So my camera's at 15%, but I hadn't, it was like eating at me that I started to record and then, stopped. So I figured I would come on real quick and talk about where I was at with things. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I want to do in terms of, vlogging. I know even saying the term vlogging sounds silly for me right now because I don't have a camera and because I'm using my iPhone and because of a lot of things. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I still have to learn how to edit and all that stuff. And, all that'll come. But for now, I just wanted to get some, pinch of content on here just to be active and push myself. So anyway, right now is a pivotal time in my life. A lot of good things are happening. But there are some other things that aren't quite happening that I'm not sure if I want to make happen. And I have the option to make happen. And one of those things is moving. And now, I didn't move too long ago. I moved into a family member's house not even a full year ago, with intentions of fixing said house up with the help of other family members. And the goal was to either stay living there after it was fixed up or to fix it up and sell it. And then, that was the goal. At first it seemed like we were getting somewhere with that goal, the fixing things up and stuff. But I don't really I feel like it's kind of like a one-sided thing now. I don't feel like anyone else is really with that idea. During the spring and summer months, it seemed like people were into it, and now it's like people are kind of like, yeah, well, this can wait, this can wait, this can wait. And I mean, not that, it's a great place to live, it's a great area, but the whole reason I agreed to wanting to live and share a space with people was because I thought it was going to be a joint effort into making this place, kind of like saving this place, because it was a house we wanted to keep in the family. And that was why it was important to save it. Let me just plug my charger in. But that being said, having 4 kids, moving obviously entails moving them and not just myself. So when I think about moving, I have to think of it in a very unselfish sense. I have to think of things that would affect them. Being that they are so little, my oldest being 8, they would think of it as an exciting thing. To them, it's not like they're teenagers that are like, oh, come on, Mom, we got to leave our friends or school. They would not care about that. They would be excited if we moved into a cardboard box, not, maybe that's exaggerating, but you know what I mean? They get excited, they go where I go, and they're happy if I'm happy. And that's the key thing here, is a lot of people think that, me moving would be selfish, to transition the kids and stuff like that. But to me, I look at a bigger picture. When I think about moving, I don't try to think about okay, this is going to make me happy for a month. This is going to make us happy for a month. I try to think of how happy is this going to make not only them, but me, in the scheme of things. How happy is it going to make me come next Christmas? Am I going to really like it then? Am I still going to be as happy as I am when I first did it? And I think that moving would make me very happy. Moving here made me very happy in the short sense. I had a lot of hopes and dreams, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer and saying that those hopes and dreams are gone. Even if I move away, which would only be a couple towns over, it's not like I'm making a huge move if I, hypothetically, if I did move. But even if I were to make that move, this house isn't gone because I move. There are still family members living at the house, and is still owned by a family member. So it's not gone if I leave. So I'm not, quote unquote, giving the house up. It's just, and I would still partake in any sort of restoration of the house. It's just, I'm not being negative about, the hopes and dreams that we set out to have about the house. I want to fix it up still. It's just, if something changed and people all of a sudden became all on board and were like, you know what, let's do this, let's do that. But I've mentioned doing the floors and painting, and like they're things that like I get excited about, and everyone else is kind of like just shrugging their shoulders over, and you know, that's fine. Like, I don't mind being the only one excited about it. Like, it's fine. Like, I mean, my excitement isn't going to damper because other people aren't excited. What I mean by excited, I guess, is motivated. Like, people aren't motivated to see these changes happen, and a lot of these changes need to happen. A lot of them aren't just for cosmetic reasons. A lot of the things in the house literally need to be replaced, like the floor and parts of the wall, and you know, I'm not going to get into it because nobody really cares, but you know what I mean? Like, these are things that need to get done, if needed to get done, and now we've been here for, like I said, close to a year, and the only things that have gotten done are things that I have done, and I take a lot of pride in that. Like, I don't mind that I've done the things. I would gladly do more things, but there are some things that require a little more than I can do. Like, I need some help. I need help with, you know, I can't restore walls, and I can't do ceilings, and I can't do things with a roof. You know what I mean? Like, that's beyond me. And that's part of the reason I'm 30 years old and I don't like own my own home, because, you know, I don't know. I'm more of like a city apartment girl, in that sense. Like, I love the like scenery part of not living in the city, and like the having a yard and, you know, things like being more outdoorsy. Like, that's a big part of me. I love that. But I don't love, you know, being responsible for home repair. I won't lie. Like, I don't know how to do it unless I have somebody on board to help me. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say that I know how to do these things, because I don't. I'd rather admit that I don't know how to do them than attempt some botched DIY thing and fuck everything up. Excuse my language. But, you know, I'm not a DIYer kind of person. Like, it depends. Like, very, very minimally DIY I am. Like, I can't. But, like, when it comes to a big project, I'm not going to risk screwing it up, you know? Like, when it comes to, like, a floor, you need to have somebody that knows what the heck they're doing, and I really don't. And I did make a stab at doing the bathroom floor, and I literally thought that I knew what I was doing. I looked it up, I YouTubed videos, and I screwed it up. And to me, it's even worse, like, than what it was, you know? So, I mean, I had great intentions. So I'm babbling and babbling on, but basically, that's where I'm at in my life. I've gotten a lot of good news. Things are really happening for me. Like, I lost one job, but I've gotten like some tremendous job offers that I'm gonna be looking into this upcoming week. So that's exciting. So that there's, like I said, like, and I found out some really good news in the mail just yesterday that I've been waiting for over a year. Literally over a year. I've been waiting for one singular letter that was like life-altering to come in the mail, and it's private, so I'm not going to share it, but let's just say it's just very good news. It was like such a weight lifted, and I really took it symbolically, though. I'm like, you know, even though it really has nothing to do with anything else, I was like, well, you know, this kind of like was the kick in the butt that I needed to be like, well, wow, you know, you can make things happen. It might take some time, but like, you can make things happen that you want to happen. It's just, you really have to think about them. And like, obviously with having kids, you can't just think for yourself. But what I've really noticed in the whole 8 years that I've been a mom, it's always been like, oh, well, I've got to make the kids happy. I've got to make the kids happy. And that is important. That is key. Obviously, you want your kids happy and healthy. But what I failed to notice until like recently, like I want to say within the past year and a half, it came to me, like, you know, you have to be happy. Like, I want to say like 80% of your kids being happy is how happy their atmosphere is and how happy you are. Because you are their rock and you are their everything, and you are, you know, you're like their moral compass, and like they are everything. Like, you're the light, you're everything. You're the light and the dark. Like, your personality really sheds a lot on them, especially when they're super small like this. So I have to not put their happiness on the back burner. Still have it completely in mind, but put my happiness like equally with theirs, you know, like maybe not put either on the back burner, just put them all in line and say, listen, all of this is important, but I have to like make like a pyramid and put me at the top of that pyramid and realize that it's like it's like a snowball effect. Like, my happiness creates their happiness in a lot of ways. So point being, you know, any life changes that I make, I have to really think, how happy is it going to make me? Because there are some life changes, like, honestly, moving to this house that we moved to was like 90% for them. They, it's a bigger yard for them to play in. It's like this and this and this. The school system, which school systems are important. Like, I'm not going to, get into that. But, school can be a kind of semi-okay school system, and you can, like, advocate for your kids really heavily and make it better than what it is. My kids have been in a kind of not so impressive school system, and I've made it better by just being an advocate for them. And so, that being said, I'm not I'm not going to get too far into anything, but what I really wanted to, it's funny, I'm leaving a store. I came to the store, but then I realized it's not the store that I need to be at. But hey, I parked to talk for a little while, so it wasn't a total loss. Anyway, so, I guess I just really have to think about some things. And to me, thinking is so stressful, like, because with anxiety, and I hate to be like a overkill with the anxiety, like, not every video has to be about anxiety, but in a positive sense, let's just say this: people with anxiety do naturally tend to overanalyze every aspect of everything. Now, mind you, moving and stuff like that, you do kind of have to really analyze that. But I have a friend, and I don't want to mention her name on here. Well, I don't want to call her out by name, even though this is a good thing. She scared the crap out of me when we were, right before we hit our 20s, I want to say. I think we were about 17-ish, 18. And she just up and left. Like, she packed up her truck that she had just, got on the road. Hadn't even been driving that long. We were so young. And she just, pretty much on a whim, said, I'm going to drive to this faraway state. And we're talking pretty far away, like, I want to say 18, 20-hour drive away from where we were living. And she moved. I was like, cut it out. And I thought, and her home life was great. She's super close to their family. Nothing was wrong. She just had these, like, hopes and dreams, and she just made them happen. Like, she just left. Like, and she really didn't put too much thought into it. Like, she thought about the necessities. Like, she thought about, like, okay, the gas, the money I'm gonna need, the job I'm gonna need, place to stay, those kind of things. But other than that, she didn't let herself overthink it. She didn't, but we didn't have kids at the time either. But let me just tell you, that same girl, she has a child now. And she still is so, like, creative and open-minded that, she's not like a gypsy. Like, the places that she goes and toggles between now, like, she does travel a lot and go to new places, but she toggles between, like, 20 hours away from one place to another without even a thought. Like, she packs up her kid, all her kids' necessities and hers, and they just go. Her kid's also like a baby, so I know it's a little easier to do. Like, my kids are in school, so they need to have that considered. So school plays such a huge factor, but it is really easy to transfer schools. Like, with them being so young. So that's another thing. Like, with them being young like this, that's when I want to make these decisions. I don't want to wait till my kids are like 14 years old and they're dragging their heels with us trying to move somewhere. I really don't want to do that to them. So I'm trying to get everything that I need to get figured out now. Not to say that we wouldn't move again if, like, this amazing opportunity came up, like, when they were older. I'd make the move with me if it was, like, a great opportunity. But I'd really like to make a move for myself that makes me happy, and I gotta stop overthinking it. And I'm not looking to move, like, 20 hours away like my friend did. I'm not looking to make some huge jump. And I would still be close by family and close by friends. And, I don't want to overthink it. And I find, alright, so I was told journaling and all that would help. And I've been journaling to try to put a lid on my overthinking. And it's kind of made it worse. So I'm kind of, like, journaling only positive thoughts here and there. And I'm not doing huge, I don't know, rants. I'll write, like, a scribble in it, like, wow, today was a great day. Let's hope for more great days. Like, things like that. I'm not going to, like, rant too much, like, take up 3 pages of me going on and on and on, like a diary. Because then it's like, okay, well, I'm overthinking as I'm writing. So instead of dumping this off my chest like it's designed to, it's kind of weighing me down a bit. So anyway, I'm going to update in a separate video because I haven't really figured out how to edit videos too much, and I don't want to like cut too much out of this video because a lot of what I said is important and I want to look back on it for myself. And I'm already at the 15-minute marker and it's been really long and I don't want to bore anyone to death. And don't worry about I'm not holding my phone. This is completely hands-free and I have mirrors everywhere, so I'm 100% safe. I always worry about vloggers that literally hold their camera. Like, at least that's the benefit of having the phone. It's mounted to my dash and I don't need to hold it. I do need to look at it, but I also have my mirror. I have like 2 rear views up here, so. And this is a super non-busy street. Anyways, I will update later. I think I'm going to give this a lot of thought and maybe update with like a more conclusive, when I came to a conclusion of, I really got a lot of thinking to do and I have to think positively and not negatively. However, on that note, that's one thing I struggle with, because I was like, you know what? Even though you do have that tendency to overthink things, no matter your anxiety level, your stress level, or whatever, any person, anxiety or not, needs to make a list of pros and cons of a situation like that. Like if you're going to move, kids or not, kids play a factor, okay. But like I said, like you come first. Like the person that does the moving is you. So I mean, you need to think about it. Your kids just go with you. At least at this age they do. They just come along. They come with you. And so the pros and cons are really in your hands. So I have to like make a list of pros and cons and really like make very factual pros and cons, not just like, oh, well, this might suck or that might be great. Like I really can't, I don't want to fantasize and I don't want to dramatize. I don't want to be like, I have to make actual pros and cons, like factual ones that like 100% like to do with money, scenery, schools, all that. So I'm going to update later. Maybe not today, I don't know, but I'm going to go through that pros and cons. Maybe I'll do the pros and cons on here. I'll make the list and I'll come on here with it without trying to share too much private stuff. Okay, well, I'll update later. Goodbye.